now that you come into the 2016 as that kind of lawyer with, first of all, how does it feel when you won the verdict?
Well, it felt great. I was shocked, to be honest.
Really?
But at the same time, you're only shocked because as a lawyer, you think of all the little nuances and intricacies that makes your case complicated.
Was it a jury case?
It was a jury case.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to talk about your closing arguments and all that.
Right.
But tell everybody, give everybody your information, because your phone's over there, so you can't type in. We'll try and get it on readers.
All right.
But I gave a little bit of introduction because I know her and I've known her forever. But tell people who don't know you who you are.
I'm an attorney in Atlanta. I own a practice here. It's Midtown Buckhead. It's the law offices of Precious Felder, and that's Felder as with an F because I don't know why people mistake it with
everything,
S.
right?
Yeah, but it's Felder, and I have a Twitter account. It's at PF Law LLC, and that's probably consistent with my Periscope, and also an Instagram account which is PF_Law LLC. And if you can't find those, just do a Google search. I'm sure you'll find it there. I practice family law, which is a huge part of my practice, which includes father's rights, which is legitimation, basically, child support, custody, divorce actions, which also includes prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. I also practice criminal defense, entertainment, which is primarily music. I do get a lot of calls. It's Felder with an F.
I'm glad you can see that.
Attorney
yeah, it's very simple. FELDER. There you go.
And lastly, I do dabble in personal injury, which is just mostly car accidents for me. And the case Yolanda is referring to is actually one of my companies, which is an entertainment company that was formed in Florida. They got in contact. That's correct. They got in contact with me when I just basically passed the bar, which was about 4 years ago, and they said that they basically got into an investment deal with a guy, and they had to put up about $250,000, and without going too far into the detail because it gets really, really complicated, basically they got nothing in return. And that's pretty much the same way I told my jury. Right. And if you give anybody $250,000, I don't care what your reasoning is. Why haven't I gotten something in return? Exactly. And of course, the individual who was sued, he was sued along with a company he owned. He also had some agency relationship with a company in Hong Kong. And he put a lot of his blame on the company in Hong Kong, of course, which is really, it's hard to track a Hong Kong company. And also an individual who was a Vietnamese individual who no one has ever seen, no one has ever talked to, no one can have access to him. Only he can have access to him. And this was actually a black male, which was surprising. He was from New York, and he had a home here in Georgia. And that's how we were able to bring him in here in Georgia. And although it was a very complicated case, to me, I thought the premise was very simple. And that is, if I give you money, you give me something back, no matter what the reasoning. Now, his major defense was that my client didn't complete something on his end of the contract. That's what his major defense was. But unfortunately, that defense didn't hold up with a jury because if I think the common sense thing would say, well, why not tell them what to do next? Especially if you're saying they didn't do something, and my client was basically arguing, well, I didn't do it because he didn't do something, and he didn't tell me how to do it. And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible because if I get into the investment type of deal, it'll put you in circles. And I didn't want my jury to go there, so I don't want anybody else explaining the case to go there. And basically, this contract called for him to pay my client 2% of the face value of the instrument that was on the contract. And that was $2 million roughly. And we went with the $2 million, although the math wasn't quite right. But my client was awarded the $2 million on the contract. They were also awarded the $250,000 that they paid for fraud. And they also got interest on the liquidated damages, was $2 million. So it ended up being A verdict of well over 2.5 million.
Wow.
So-
Very celebrated verdict. So
Very celebrated.
they came to you right out of law school.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so you spent, this was
whole time.
this was her Claire Huxtable case. Let me just put it that way. Remember when Claire Huxtable graduated law school and then she won that case? So resetting, because I see a number of people have come in on Periscope. My name is Yolanda Lattimore, editor of DryerBuzz, which is why it's called DryerBuzz Live. This beautiful establishment is Tuya, 6786 Broad Street. This is where we jump from our individual scopes and come and scope together. Entrepreneurs also welcome to stop by and tell us about their products. Rita Foster Thomas on the end here is with me every week. She helps entrepreneurs go pro. Because a lot of us, we can get a logo and a business card, but you got to have some professionalism in the mix. And we have, because we've been telling you guys to get behind your brand, your business, put it out there. We went and got an attorney to make sure that you are protected in putting it out there. Because it's one thing to, put your product or your design and all that on Instagram and on Facebook and everything. But there are people who will say, okay, I'm going to do that too. But you gotta protect yourself. So she's gonna be taking questions, and you can talk to her now on the scope. Don't wait and think you gotta get with her later. Post your questions. We're screenshotting the questions. She's gonna answer those questions right here, right now. While there's no retainer needed to be in place. I'm just saying, I've got you an attorney. Let's ask her some questions. Ask Rita some questions about how to go pro. Really go pro in your business. And also we're doing, during the scope, throughout the weekend, we're raising money for scholarships, $1,500 scholarship we want to raise with Periscope. And I know you guys can do it because I've seen us do it before. And I'm just going to redirect you in that direction to do that for us today and this weekend. It's the AAFT Foundation. If you go to GoFundMe.com/AAFT Foundation, you'll see that people are giving, wanting you to match your friends, okay? Don't just let Rita be thanking your friends. We want to also thank you too. If you don't have it to give, do this. Click the like button. Click the share button, because you'd be surprised how many people. That's the secret. You want to know the secret of social media, the secret of Periscope? It's sharing. You've got to click like you got. What is the lawyer info? We got to type her info in as well. Attorney Felder, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter is at PF Law LLC. My Instagram is PF_Law LLC. And you can contact my office at 404-478-7207.
And she also has a Periscope running at the same time, so you will see her name in the stream. GoFundMe.com, that's you, Rita, okay? And if you would type her Twitter, or the website, type her website so they can screenshot the website. All right, so you know me, I'm all about answers. If you got questions, we've got answers. And how are we on time? Because we're also running a Facebook Live at the same time, and Facebook will give us 30 minutes. So Facebook, you guys are engaging on 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm using all of my devices during this stream, and I can't engage with your comments. Mousy, can I see your phone? Maybe I can answer some of these Facebook questions on there. We'll get one more device. They said, remember I told you all the data came out that you need 2 devices.
Yes.
And 30% have 3 devices. And so clearly it's obvious you're still trying to figure out if you should tweet, you need 3 devices. Because now you need to be live, you need to be tweeting, you need to be. And Sharon Master Brown, you want to step in and say hello? What you got in your hand? Well, hand me that. And don't forget, Valentine's Day shopping, you need to, where's the one with the card? The one with the card. Let's put that on the screen. You know that we are inside Tuya. Go to Tuya.com. The artwork that you see behind us is that of local Miles Davis. It's up at to the 15th of the month. And Valentine's Day, what to get for Valentine's Day? You need to come to Tuya for Valentine's Day. Because one thing you want to do, Massey, put this one up to the camera. If you can't think about what to get a loved one for Valentine's Day, go in the closet and get those mementos that you've given them years before. Bring it in and get it framed.
That's right.
That one card that she treasures or he treasures, bring the card in. This one that's closer to, come and show it on Facebook over here as well. This particular one is a card. And you got a card because you posted, you guys have been together how long? I'm putting all your business out.
14.
And
14
you
years.
got a
Wow.
card of some memento that you've been
yes.
given over the
Pretty
years,
much.
right? Well, just think about if you framed it. You know, gift certificates for framing. Those who are graduating this year, come in. You can get gift certificates to frame the diplomas. That is the number one gift to give a graduate, because how many diplomas do you have? Several, right? Are they all framed and on the wall? Mm-hmm. That's the best gift certificate. How long did they sit before you framed? Did you frame right away?
Yeah, well, because when you pass the bar, there's actually an individual
you
who
need to
contacts
show.
you immediately.
Okay, gotcha. That's something you want to do. I mean, if somebody gave you a gift certificate, you'd love that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, get it done. So, Valentine's Mementos, you can take last year's card. Remember that card? You like, what'd she do with all that stuff I bought last year? Bring it in, get it framed, give it back to her.
There you go.
There you go. Re-gifting the gifts. But it takes it to a whole nother level. We're going to show you some other framing that's going on to you. Custom framing, art gallery, and boutique. There's a design center over where our old set is now the design center. So we want to thank Mousy for letting us come in and Periscope in her shop and inviting other entrepreneurs in as well. Back to the conversation. That was a reset. Oh my God. Okay. Rita Fox and the Thomas helps you go pro. I'm Yolanda. I help you create buzz. And now we got an attorney on board to help you protect your property. Now, we're telling people, if I tell somebody, go ahead and start a Twitter account. Go ahead and start like, let's say, for instance, Mousy has a toy that she's getting ready to, we want to create some buzz for it, but she wants to protect it before she puts it out there. How do you know what route to take in protecting content or product? Like you said with the one your people did an investment in. Let's say you're going to take somebody's money. How do you protect yourself?
Well, there are two different types of areas, but if you're talking about a product, you're definitely talking about the process of patenting a product.
Okay.
Because you have to consider it's like an invention.
Right.
So if you're talking a tangible object like that, you obviously want to contact an attorney as soon as possible to get your patent over and done with. Now, otherwise, if you're talking about some other intellectual property such as music content or even just writing, and you plan.
What about a hashtag? Because a lot of times you can say a phrase online, it'll become so popular, and now it's in the car commercial, and you're like, wait a minute, I said. If people come to you and say, you said that first,
right?
Do you have? Can you go get some money?
Well, if you're going to make it a trademark, so
Okay.
if you're a company or if you have some sort of product or service, what you can do is you can trademark the hashtag immediately along with a logo or whatever the case may be. Or even if you just want the name to be as a trade name, you can also register that. So that's the only way you can protect a hashtag. Now, unfortunately, I know with Twitter and Instagram and everything, you may not even have an intention to
Start a trend.
And it may create so much buzz so quickly, you don't have time to send it to the trademark office or register as a trade name. So unfortunately, in a situation like that, you kind of
It's open, but can you go back if nobody trademarking you, then go back to trademarking and get people to stop using?
Well, unfortunately, when it comes to intellectual property, the biggest issue is publicizing, and once it's out there, it's kind of hard for you to come back and say, I initialized it, meaning I was the first to create it.
I talked to a gentleman, I don't want to put his business out there, but we saw somebody trademark, I think Tyler Perry trademarked "What Would Jesus Do?" Even though people, if nobody trademarked, I guess I don't know if you call it a trademark or some kind of way ended up with the ownership of it. Talking with the gentleman the other day, he probably gonna shoot me in my foot on this scope. He ended up with Virtuous Woman. How many times have you? But nobody took the steps on that, and so now he has that. So, what if you get something after the fact? What do you then own, even if it's after the fact?
Well, one thing is someone can own a name or a phrase already. And in that situation, you buy it from them. And that's just a simple.
But if everybody's using it, there's our train for our reset. And I really want to check Facebook because there's some comments coming in on Facebook. You can, on the Facebook live stream, go on my page and then look at the comments there. Lots of comments coming in. We're doing Facebook Live. And she gave me her phone. I forgot I was going to check. Master, can you grab this? So after the fact, nobody protected it. Everybody's using it, and you find that nobody's protected it, and you go and get it after the fact. Then what do? And I think we just ran out of time on Facebook. I'm gonna reset Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is 30 minutes, guys. So let me do another Facebook. I'm sorry, down here Periscope, I'm in front of you, but we're live and interactive, and on many. I'm gonna say DryerBuzz. Wait a minute, let me go back. I want to really see how Facebook works. You can read it out loud.
Oh, okay. There is a comment on Facebook from Mr. Rotherman. I hope I said that correctly. If not, I apologize. I am a law enforcement officer. What legal steps would you recommend for me in this profession? Well, unfortunately, Mr. Rotherman, I have no idea how to advise you as a law enforcement officer, because I've never worked in enforcement. However, as a defense attorney, I have obviously questioned a lot of law enforcement officers on the stand. And the only thing I can say is that just know your facts and know your report and report them as accurately as possible. And you obviously want to know the statute that you're saying that.
And I can tell you one question he may have. He's getting ready to start a website.
Okay.
So in being in law enforcement and then coming into the social space, one, he will have to be represented as a public figure out there. But at the same time, if he wanted to get involved in some other vehicles online, what might he need to be really concerned about?
If you're going to use social media, the only thing I can suggest is that you stay away from, and that's anybody in the profession really, is you stay away from saying too much. And that's saying too much about a particular person you've arrested, about an incident, even about yourself, because as a law enforcement officer, you have certain standard, I think, in your own profession, and with the legal department, they require you to do certain things and not to post certain things on social media. For example, I have an officer, and usually when I get a case, I will ask for open records request to the police department in order to get all the records on the officer. And sometimes you'll get a report from Internal Affairs that says that the officer posted a picture. Something as simple as posted a picture in front of his car, in front of his patrol car.
Really?
And sometimes that's a violation, and with the department, and that's a big deal. For instance, I have a case that's pending right now, and the particular officer on my case, he was on Flickr, and he had an internal affairs report where he was suspended because he posted, or he had a female actually.
What?
I guess in a compromising or some sort of sexual.
But now Flickr is like, you wouldn't think of Flickr, but Flickr does have a social media side to it.
Right. Yeah.
But it's usually where people are storing photos. So as an attorney, and you said open access public record, how much of our social media is public? Because now we see somebody get arrested, they got everything. How much of that is public information?
Well, as an officer, all the internal affairs reports or investigations, all that is open records.
Okay.
I mean, personnel reports, even all the certificates he's earned, almost everything in the officer's background is open records. There's only a handful of things that's very personal information that's not open records.
Okay.
So for an officer, if someone reports, well, we saw a picture that was inappropriate to the department, then they can investigate it. And obviously in his particular situation, they did investigate it, and he was suspended for having this compromising photo in front of the state's vehicle. on his social media. So you do want to be careful with certain things you post on there, especially when you're in uniform.
In uniform. Don't be selfie and all that kind of stuff. And we always think, wow, you really got to tell people that, because I've been on social media for so long, and till Facebook, it's like I've never seen such stuff. That even though I've been on for 30 years and I've probably never run for mayor because I've been on that long, but I'm just amazed because you don't have the privacy that you used to have on social media. I'm surprised people will go out there. We're taking questions. We're asking questions about what kind of information. Now, if in that, Twitter is like timestamp is going to the Library of Congress, has it kind of in sort of way replaced copywriting and all of that? Like, you can literally dictate you did or said something in public or publicized it, or is that considered publicizing it, that you said it first, that you did it first?
Well,
can you use it in a defense?
I will say this much. One thing about Facebook, Twitter, you have to be very careful and read their policies. Because by you having an account with those social media sites, a lot of times their policies will provide that they own the copyright in everything you post. If it's not the verbiage, it's definitely the pictures, which is a big deal to me because I have a daughter, and when I post pictures of my daughter, I have to be very critical of, is this a picture that I would want Facebook to own? And if I all of a sudden became famous, would I want them to be able to sell this picture? So if you do put any content on social media site, just keep that in mind. Is this something that I would want Facebook to own, or is this something I would want Twitter to own? Because a lot of times their policies provide it. And
for the most part, people don't read the terms of service. They don't read the small print. You just go ahead and check that box, and then it could say anything, and they could own it. Yep. So that's why you should have your own website as well. Putting that out there. I'm telling you. So what are some of the strangest cases? I know you still have to do continuing education, case study, and all that. What are some of the big cases that social media has been involved in? Let me give you one. There was a guy yesterday posted a video. He was being stalked by his girlfriend, and even in the video, it's like he wasn't fully recognizing the severity of which she was torturing him. I mean, she literally almost like ran him over. He literally moved 2 inches and she hit the car instead of him. He didn't realize that. It's like, it's like she almost tried to run you. He's blast. Well, we see a lot of people trying to blast people on social media. He's filming outside the window. She's outside the window. She's ramming his car. She gets in and out of the car. She comes up to the house. She breaks the windows. She does all of this. She drives around the block. She's speeding up and down the street. She stopped him. Yeah, and he even remember he went out. He was trying to show the back of his car where she hit the car, and all of a sudden he stepped to the left, right, and she hit the car again. But even in the video, he wasn't fully understanding this girl really wants something bad to happen to him. So taking that, and I think he already said he had a restraining order or something against her, but still this was going on. What kind of case does he have now? Because he take it to a judge and say, like, look.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, because the judges will use Facebook, and we subpoena Facebook's information. Facebook videos, Facebook pictures. All of those things they can be detrimental to a case. But for him, it'll be beneficial. For her, obviously, it'll be detrimental. And the judge will consider that. I've had divorce cases where the judge considers Facebook posts. For instance, a wife comes in and she asks for alimony and she asks for all this all this money and give me, but she's trashing the husband on Facebook, just with profanity and all these evil things. She's just going at it. And that particular case, the judge said, you know what, I'm not going to give you that. And the judge actually ruled in favor of you hear that? Different assets, but the judge, that was beneficial for the husband in that particular situation. Because
so go ahead and let him tag you in the post, even though you don't want all this stuff out there. But keep a record of it, because I still feel like in him posting that video, I almost felt like he was trying to find his own courage against her, and I guarantee he probably didn't press charges. He didn't seem like he was going to press charges or anything, did he?
It didn't appear that in the video.
It's like, dude, how much does she have to do to you? But can now in some states where the person doesn't have to press charges, and you see something just so egregious happening to a person, can the city and police act on that video?
Oh, absolutely.
So even if he's like, okay, I'm gonna forgive her, we're gonna get back together because you know that's what's gonna happen. You felt like he was gonna be like, okay, he gonna repair the window, repair the car, and they'll be back together. But she endangered other people in their neighborhood driving through the way she did, hitting the car. So can a policeman, and they do scour these videos, can they then act on that video?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now the only downfall as a defense attorney, I would say, is you don't have the victim himself coming to testify.
So you get her off?
No, because there's still a video that very clearly shows, among other things,
you can get her
conduct, vandalism.
Basically, she get her off. No, and I'm just okay. But let's talk about Bill. Can we talk about Bill Cosby? Everybody is talking about whether or not to, should we like the attorney? What's going on with that? First and foremost, to get that kind of case or to step into that kind of case, how do you guys choose to take a case like that, especially high profile?
Well, I will say one thing.
Would you take it?
I love Monique Presley.
Okay.
I mean, I've watched all the videos of her interviews, and I say to myself, I want to be like her. If I had to have a video on CNN, or if I had to have an interview on any other media broadcast, I would definitely want to be able to handle her position the way she has. Now, this is what I'll say, at least from an attorney standpoint. What she's telling them, it seems so much like common sense to an attorney. Okay. For instance, one of the interviews she had, the interviewer asked her, why isn't he proclaiming his innocence? Okay. What do you mean? That's what I'm here for. And I was just, it was almost like well, duh. I mean, he has an attorney, and sometimes I don't think that the journalists understand the law. I don't think they understand the facts. I don't think they understand, what they're supposed to be interviewing about.
Because we're so used to in this world now, we're so used to people speaking in first person for themselves, And Bill Cosby is old school. He does interviews. He goes through the media. He has a legal team, which is why people say they never heard about all of this stuff going on. Right. But there have been some attorneys on the case forever in this situation, quote unquote, defending him in his defense. Right. Okay. So when you decide to take a case, it doesn't, because most people say, okay, she took the case, and in public opinion, he's guilty. She now has to prove his innocence, or from the way she's working it, is she there as an attorney to prove his innocent, or just to get this over and done with? What is she doing?
Well, from my perception, it sounds like she's there to do both. Okay. Obviously to prove his innocence, because she knows the facts. She knows at least the facts that are in favor of her client. She understands the facts very well. She understands all of the cases that are actually presented in court, as opposed to the ones that are just allegations, which is a big deal. And it sounds like that's her position. She wants to basically speak for him, as an attorney should, from a legal perspective, and make everyone understand that you have to pay attention to the details and not just get a grasp for information in a bubble, which is kind of how the media presents it too.
Yes. Did she go pro or what, Rita?
Yes,
she goes pro. What does that say? Because I can't get my glasses on. He's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Okay, right. And that we agree. We just want to know what the attorney is thinking. And like you said, there's a lot that we just watching through the media, or even who have this heartwarming love for the legacy of Bill Cosby. It's a hard case. It's going to be one that's very, very interesting to watch. And let me just reset for those of you that are coming in. We got a new group, looks like, on Periscope. We reset Facebook, and you might want to check your battery. So we might want to get the extension cords out. We're sitting with Attorney Felder, Rita Fashion Thomas, and myself. I'm Yolanda at DryerBuzz, and we decided to bring in an attorney because we are with the second episode into the new year. We're all trying to go pro, become professional in our business, and there's a legal side to that. And Rita talks all the time about the other things you have to have in place, but you gotta have an attorney. You gotta, because we had somebody on. I was at an event, and the lady was talking about she's doing all these events and she's just not getting paid. And I said, you gotta be first and foremost part of the professional association. Right. You gotta have a watchdog, somebody that's out there getting your money, watching your product. Because let's say that if I want to just go, I want to put DryerBuzz everywhere, and I want to put 27 answers everywhere. You're getting a cease and desist letter because the attorney is on the case. I don't even know I'm suing you, but the attorney be on point, right? How many times is that? Because that's what you guys do when somebody brings you on to represent them. You don't have to talk to them every day. Right. You're watching their best interests, right? That's what I'm saying. Tell everybody phone number.
Phone number is 404-478-7207.
And I'm trying to watch the time, guys, but I try to get as much information. I know we do need to stop at like 12:15.
Yes.
Already. And then we want to go and hear a speaker speak. So I'm going to get ready to hear. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
No, it's just if you want to contact me, you can search my name. My name is Precious Felder. That's F as in Frank, ELDER. And my Twitter account is PF Law LLC. And of course, my phone number again is 404-478-7207.
Right. And there's our train which tells us that, yeah, we probably need to get ready to wrap it up. There's a luncheon going on. Rhonda is having her lunch and learn today and want to go by and support her. And Precious Felder, Attorney Felder's batteries run low, so that's another reason we need to stop. We're already on the stack of Facebook. Thank you guys so much for the hearts. We're here every Friday. We're at Tuya. And like I said, Valentine's Day, one of the great gifts you want to give for Valentine's Day is custom framing. There's also great gifts and art in the space. Please come by and support the space. The Demila A. Foster Thomas Foundation, I can finally say it all, is having a GoFundMe this weekend. Please make sure that you support, match your friends. We're asking for a great discussion. Thank you so much. And the discussion continues. You can tweet everybody. The Twitter names are on the Periscope. They're in the replays. So please contact Attorney Felder if you have further questions. If you're out there on social media and you see the car commercial using everything, your tweet, everything you tweet, you hear it somewhere. We're setting trends. We're just not getting paid for them. I got to do a